Hello, hello. I'm doing a podcast live just in the Warrior Goddess Mastermind group today. Yay, special, long time coming. You guys should have had podcasts in here all the time. No, I usually broadcast them over into our Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Facebook group. If those of you who are listening to the live podcast are have not joined our Facebook group, then definitely you're welcome to join us. Answer three quick questions, and we'll get you added to the group. And sometimes I do it in the 8-week program. And yeah, today we're doing it in the Warrior Goddess Mastermind program. And the reason why, I choose where to put the podcast is based on what I'm talking about and how it's most applicable. And last week, I was running the Warrior Goddess Mastermind call. And as those of you who are in the Warrior Goddess Mastermind remember, I was viscerally moved. So, one of you, I'll keep names private, was saying how grateful you were for this work because you were sharing it with your grandchildren and it was making a difference for them. And all of a sudden, I just got present to all of you in the group and remembered the fact, I just could see the fact, like all the human beings that all of you touch, right? Like we have people who are school therapists, and we have music teachers, and we have nurses, and we have fill in the blank of your profession, right? Like all of you care deeply about your families and care about being the best version of yourselves and showing up with the best energy, leadership, integrity at your places of work. And I just really appreciate that. And something that the team and I were talking about today, as I've now brought back the neurolinguistic programming training, the hypnosis training, the coaching training, all of that kind of stuff, and like how it actually fits in and how it can best serve us. And like I was saying to the Warrior Goddess Mastermind on Monday, understanding that when we as human beings decide to take this work and share it with other people, then that's how we can really create that shift on our planet of transformation, of people being aware that they're not their own thoughts and that they, yeah, are the creators of their own reality. And so it just got me thinking about the flow of our program, from the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss program to the Warrior Goddess Mastermind, and now having the opportunity to have the neurolinguistic programming trainings, of that is just full circle of what's giving back. And to me, that full circle, what that actually signifies, or not signifies, but what it is like the spiritual path that, from first realizing that we need to ask for help, that we have an issue with food, body, and weight, that even though we're super successful in other areas of our life, especially professionally with most of us, that there still is the baggage that gets in the way, right? I just started working with a couple private clients, and they were talking about how with their careers, it's like, okay, I'm, going all the way, super successful, everything like that. But then the emotional mastery piece is missing. And that's where the emotional eating can start, as we all know, and can become a problem and a burden, and something that can cause a lot of emotional turmoil. So acknowledging that, right? That it's actually like you being present to the fact that you are capable of more, that you have more potential. And there's this thing that's getting in the way, right? I know for myself that as I was, becoming a nurse, and as I was, going through life and being successful, and, all doing all the right things on paper, my mental, emotional world was not doing so great, And so coming out of that shell, asking for help, right? Getting that coaching, getting out of food prison, like seriously getting out of that prison. So then I had the space to then say, like, first of all, I want to give this back. Like, I want everybody to know about this, because how could I be quiet, right? I had my first coach that said, Leslie, if you ever had the cure for cancer, would you ever shut up about it? And for me, that was just the natural path. right? And something that I've learned along this path of entrepreneurship is the fact that it is the fastest and deepest way to transformation, to your spiritual path of personal development and growth. Why? Because as I'm over here waving my flag and telling other people about the fact that, hey, anything is possible. Hey, you don't have to be stuck with this like plague or bad relationships, plague meaning plague with food, right? Or like whatever you think that is just like your cross to bear and you're just like stuck and can never get out of it. It's like that doesn't have to be the case, right? And it's like, I just need people to know that like you can be free at any time. Like this is like you can, you just can. And a lot of people just, yeah, aren't present to that. And the food thing can just seem so catastrophically big. So anyway, as I've made that my vocation to basically wave that flag ever since working as a nurse and realizing that I needed to get to these patients way sooner, before they got to the hospital. Because by the time I was seeing at the hospital, for the most part, it was too late. Like their addictive tendencies and habits, because of their lack of emotional mastery, because their subconscious minds were not in alignment with their true selves. Like that was the reason why they ended up in that situation. Sometimes not for, there's no black and white, but there was many patients. The first guy that came in who was 300 plus pounds, needed a kidney transplant, could not get it, was like, I'm going to die and I'm going to leave my children behind, crying to me as I'm admitting him in the middle of the night, he's saying, I try everything and I just can't stop. I just can't stop eating. And like, he's a smart guy. He was genuine. He was authentic. He genuinely wanted to get out of that trap. And me saying, hey, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you about this, but there's this hypnosis that is amazing. And then him coming back to the hospital, I can't remember how many months, it was 3, 6, something like that months later. He wasn't my patient that day, but he was on our unit because I worked in the kidney transplant unit. And he's like, oh my God, I was hoping that I'd see you. I'm off for whatever. I can't remember exactly. It was 3, 4, 5, 6 blood pressure medications. And I've lost 60 pounds, 80 pounds. I can't remember. Significant. And he's like, you literally changed my life by telling me about that. And so ever since then, it was like, how many more people don't know about that genuinely want to stop being stuck with this, right? So it has not been easy at all, right? Choosing to live your life so that you can share this awareness with other human beings and just anything like, and this is my story, but you have yours. It's, working in this arena of business for so long, of people who love to help people, they genuinely care, but they also have this like integrity necessity. So for myself working as a nurse, to be perfectly honest, like I never had hospitalizations growing up with experience around healthcare like that. I never, had a family member or friend who needed a kidney transplant. Like the nurses that I saw that worked with the most integrity were the people who had those things in their past. They themselves had a kidney transplant, they had family who had, or they grew up in a hospitalization type situation and just had so much appreciation for that work. And it mattered to me. Like I was doing great at the job. Patients loved me. Of course, I was still my same like compassionate self, but like something was missing, right? Like something was missing because it was like, I can't fully understand these patients. I don't know the pain they're going through. I don't understand what it's like to be powerless in the hospital like this. I don't know what it's like to have a chronic illness and require this amount of care. And so there was like a heart disconnect that mattered to me. And because of that, I was unsatisfied as a human being. And with all of the entrepreneurs that I've encountered in my life, it always starts with what is a major thing that you have overcome in your life that is like the starting point to knowing what you want to help people with as you begin your journey as an entrepreneur and start your business. It's, what is something that you've always had a knack for, or what is something that you have overcome? And when that first question was asked to me, it was like, well, I found out about this hypnosis and it's completely changed absolutely everything in my life, like just like that. And she was like, my coach at the time, she was like, well, that sounds pretty amazing. You should probably do that. Right. So each and every one of you have major life events that have happened to you. You have dug yourselves out of the trenches. You have overcome something major, whether it was like divorce or, just life stuff, parenting, conscious parenting. I know one of you is talking about as a possible future endeavor. Right. And just all that kind of stuff. And you all have this, yeah, just natural affinity to want to give back, right? And I'm speaking specifically to the mastermind of just, I see you. I really see each and every one of you and the difference that you make. And you're feeling super inspired to share this work or to just know that you're capable of more, right? So every step of the way in choosing to live your life in a way that is 100% in alignment with wanting to help someone because you understand their pain or you know exactly how to walk them through what it is that they want to get through, you have to face all your stuff daily, right? Like, oh my gosh, like talk about, oh my gosh, it was like the worst thing, right? Of like, oh my God, I don't want to bother people. Like, I don't want to be that sleazy salesperson. I don't want to look like, yeah, I don't want to look like I'm trying to, get something over somebody. Like, people have imposter syndrome, like where they just feel like completely unworthy and not good enough. Like, it's just the fastest way to have to, like, again, dig into those trenches and get back out of that. Right. So from hypnosis to permanent, but I couldn't have gotten present to that if I didn't have the hypnosis to clear my mind and get past and out of food prison, because I didn't have the bandwidth. Like, I just absolutely had no space for any of that. And then as everything started to get cleared up using hypnosis, getting coaching, getting all the access to support that we provide, then I was like, well, what do I want to create now? Right. It's like, okay, we checked that box. Right. And ever since then, I've lived my life according to checking that box of being like, this is what's in the way. What support can I get in coaching to get that past that for good? Great. This is in the way. What do I do for that? Right. This is in the way, to just continue that journey on and on again. And it has continued to deepen, that my relationship with myself, my awareness and my ability to give back and translate it over into my leadership so I can keep making that difference. So I was speaking with someone today who is also in the mastermind, just via text. You know who you are if you're listening. And she was saying, when I was talking about my neurolinguistic programming certification that I'm now offering, that she said, I'm not quite ready for that. She said, right now I'm still working on healing myself and uncovering my patterns. And my response back for her was like, absolutely. I'm so glad that you know that about yourself. And it made me think about you guys as well. Of like, I hope that the NLP certification doesn't feel like it's something that's put on a pedestal. Is it advanced subconscious mind work? Absolutely. But it is absolutely personal development as you're getting that certification to then be able to give it back if you want to. Of course, you don't have to. Um, so, for example, when I was just at my training over the summer, you know, yes, I'm now, a trainer of neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis. And the amount of personal development that happened for me as I was in that program, because you can't help but to have to use the tools in order to be able to teach it, right? Like, is profound. I shared with a few of you how during COVID, I kind of got stuck in some codependency like behaviors and habits, right? Like, I'm sure so many of us did, just being like, stuck in your small space. And then you're kind of engaging with your small self, like still able to fully operate and function and make sure that I'm providing an amazing service to everyone, but just personally, just still having those like, right. And it was kind of like this part of me of being like, oh, I just want to be like a stay-at-home mom and raise her babies and have all the freedom in the world, right? Like that was the conversation that I was engaged in with myself, even though I still knew that like I'm a transformation leader here to save the world, right? Like that was still there, but that other one was louder. The other part of me was louder. And since going to that training and integrating my parts with parts integration, which is a tool, in neurolinguistic programming and, swish pattern to just like bring myself back to like the picture that I want to have, like just basically all of the active hypnosis type work, I came back like that has always been my like mission on this planet. Like I literally for the healthy hypnosis hour that I just ran last night, which thank you for those of you who came. We had a great turnout and we're looking forward to doing it again next year. But as I was looking that up, I'm wanting to go and look for it right now in the notebook. But from years ago, everything that I wrote, oh yeah, it was in my diary that I bought for the New Zealand trip. I have it here. What did I wonder if I could find it. But basically it was like, what if I could find the cure for addiction? Like, what if, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna find impromptu podcast things. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. What if I meant to find the cure for addiction? I said, imagine if no one in society ever felt addicted anymore. Imagine how easy it would be for everyone to maintain optimal health. Imagine how many companies or people would go out of business and how many healthy minds there would be figuring out a way to save our planet and save our souls. Imagine how many less senseless deaths there would be. Maybe that's where my destiny lies. Maybe that's what the white lab coat and prescription pad imagery came from when I went to see someone for a psychic reading. I went for a psychic reading and I was at a crossroads between do I keep doing nursing and go for my nurse practitioner, or do I leave nursing and go 100% towards coaching? And she said that the end of my path was me wearing a white lab coat with a prescription pad. And I was like, but I don't want that path. I was like, I want to do the coaching. And she was like, well, I can only tell you what I'm seeing. Like that's your end path. And then after that reading, I had shared that with my uncle and he said, that's great. And he said, well, now the challenge after getting a reading like that is how can you still listen to your own inner truth and make whatever decisions you feel like are the best ones for you to make despite that path, like not let that reading be the thing that orchestrates the way that you live your life. And so this is what I'm referring to here of like, maybe that's where that's going to come in. Like maybe this is a prescription pad and white coat vocation that later is implemented into healthcare. Like that was always my plan. That was always what I wanted was like, let's revolutionize healthcare, right? Of like, there's so many injustices that are happening and like so many things that are wonky. And please, if you're in healthcare, you know that I appreciate you like utmost. It's just, but we also know that there are problems. So, yeah. And I said, I'm going to start researching that. I said, I'm sure I'm not the only one who has this idea. Yeah. So that would be a pretty rad life project to undertake. And then I say, God, show me my purpose. Let it bring salvation to this world. Let me be your servant and keep giving me the lessons I need to continue towards and on my predestined path. I say, angels, please keep sending me signs to keep going. Please, something to me in my dream. Oh, please come to me in my dreams the way you have before. Shower me with your love and your peace and your strength. And please continue loving and blessing and supporting my sisters and my mom and my dad. And then I go on to other people suffering from addiction, show them the way, show them peace. Let me do my part in continuing to love and support and to thank you. Amen. Love and lead and support. I love you. And that was it. I don't know where the and was from the other one. I love you. So that's where it's at, right? And it's like that's been every journal that I can look at. And I remember being a little girl and being like I am meant for something more. Right? And that's the work that we're doing, is like, how can we be brave enough to listen to the calling and give back, and how can we just do whatever it takes to up level ourselves to continue on that path so that we can listen to that call. Before I went to the training, like I thought that everything that I was thinking was correct. Like I thought that, being a mom, just having the babies or whatever was like my actual dream. And then using the NLP tools is what actually got me in alignment of being like, that has never been the plan. Like it like shook the subconscious part up and like was like, no, that's accurate. It doesn't mean that the mom stuff and having children thing isn't accurate. That's also accurate. But this part is very accurate, like above and beyond that. It's like that's going to happen on the way. This is my separate valiant warrior path that has to happen, and nothing can slow me down anymore. Like I can't. And I set some boundaries and have my space. And I've just been on a war path towards this mission ever since I've been back, before I even got back. Right. So I just really felt inspired to share that with you, of just painting out the picture of what it actually means to be here. Right. Of just like the hypnosis for permanent weight loss. Like I said, asking for that help, getting that transformation, getting that space, and then for some of us, getting present to your own potential and greatness and changing the world. Like remembering that that's the reason that you always came here for. Right. And also wanted to just make sure that I wasn't describing the neurolinguistic programming training as something that was like way out of reach for people, and that it's just the more advanced work that can get you even faster into alignment. And, if there is that desire, maybe not yet, but after, to then share it back, you'll have that certification to be able to do so. So thank you so much again for being here. Since I'm live on the mastermind, I'll just share that we have some really excited changes happening. We worked as a team today. We're super excited to roll them out. And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, thank you for being a part of this mission with us. I hope that you'll join us next month for the Healthy Hypnosis Hour. Please contact us so you can find out information on how to get there. It's totally free. You can bring a friend. And yeah, if you haven't texted us, yes, probably the fastest way to find out or just get connected is to text the 727 number, 72727. It's been a while since I've said it. Text the word hypnosis to 72727 like you hear in the intro and the outro, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.